Ariel, welcome to this morning session. Today marks a very auspicious start in the Hindu calendar. It's the start of the week of Lord Rama, known as Ramayan week. It's also a very spiritual period. We have Eid, we have the Telugu New Year, we have the Tamil New Year coming up. So it's a very auspicious time in the spiritual calendar. Let's embrace this spirituality in a very personal sense, become quiet, and become receptive to the energies around us. Take your arms out to the side, broaden at the chest. Focus on the breath. Turn the palms to face forward. Turn the palms to face up. Even with this action, can you find some quietness in it? Find some stillness. Find the breath. Breathe in, raise up the arms, upper arms in line with the ear. Lift the side of the trunk. Lift the armpit, lift the wrist. Join the palms together, spread the palms, spread the fingers. Place your palms and fingers to the sternum. The other four fingers away, resting the thumb on the sternum. Focus on the breath once again. Begin by chanting Om 3 times. Take a slow, deep breath in. Slowly release your hands. Open your eyes. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Rotate at the wrist. Turn the palms away from you. Breathe in and raise up the arm. Focus on stretching the armpit, lifting the wrist. Now as you breathe in, take the upper arms slightly behind you, behind the ear, keeping the head straight. Now focus on the length of the area from the pubic area to the navel, from the navel to the sternum and the stretch of the armpit. Maintain this posture for a few moments, focusing on the length of the side body, similar to what we did yesterday. Breathing out, release your hands. Place your fingertips on the floor. Breathing in, look up, lift the sternum, and feel the extension from the pubic area to the navel, from the navel to the sternum, and the sternum to the chin. Out and look forward. Place your palms in front of the knees and once again cup the fingers, creating height, and lift away. Lift the navel away from the hip, lift the sternum away from the navel, and lift the shoulders and the cup. And feel the extension of the front body. Join your knees together. Come to sit in Vajrasana. If this is difficult, you can continue sitting in Svastikas. Take the knees out to the side. And once again, lift the navel away from the pubic area, away from the floor. Lift the sternum away from the navel. Raise up the arms. Bend the elbows and place the left palm over right and the right over left. Stretch the armpit. Lift the elbows and feel the full extension of the front body. Focus on the line from the pubic area to the navel, from the navel to the sternum and the sternum to the chin. Can you lengthen that line and increase that line? Increase the lines of the side body. Imagine there's a line, imaginary line running all the way up the spine and up the sides of it. Can you lengthen those lines? Release your arms and change the bind. Lift the navel, lift the sternum, lengthen the side body, and lengthen the sides. Straighten the arms. Take the upper arm slightly behind the ear. Stretch the fingers, stretch the palms. Focus on the area once again from the pubic area to the navel, from the navel to the sternum, and from the sternum through the armpits. Feel the full extension of the front body. Breathe out, release your hands. Come to face the side of your mat. Stretch out in front of you, not all the way, at least a ruler's length from your knee to your palm. Spread your palm, spread your fingers, and once again, lift the navel away from the floor, lift the sternum away from the navel and look up. Your gaze forward, come onto your knees. Move your hand one palm forward, tuck the toes under, and a gentle stretch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And lift the hips and move the navel away from the hips, move the sternum away from the navel, stretch the armpit and feel the length of the front body. Breathe out and release your knees and come to sit once again. Raise up the arms and stretch the arms behind the ear. If it's easier for you to interlock the fingers, do so. And come to stand. So you'll find that when we practice certain asanas, especially forward extensions, we tend to round the back as we bend forward or hinge forward or fold forward, if I could use a term. But the correct way to do it is to go down with a straight back. I'm just going to show you a demonstration in Ardha Uttanasana. So you'll find if I had to ask you to go down, immediately we close the shoulder, we round the back, keeping a hump in the back, and we go down. This is incorrect. You need to have the chest open like what we've done, have the length from the navel to the sternum to the chest, and then you hinge at the hips and you fold forward, keeping the back straight. That's the extension that we're working on today. And then you would find that for some of us it is difficult, so you take a chair. You take a chair and place the chair in front of you so that you are comfortable. All of us may not need this, but if you need it, breathe in, raise up the arms. And the technique is to rest your wrist onto the chair. And you'll find that you walk your legs away and then lengthen the navel away from the hips and the sternum away and look forward. Okay, let's do it all together. Stand in front of the chair. So we're focusing on the lengthening and the opening of the front body. Eventually, by the end of the week, working to go down to touch our toes. So many a time, if you tell somebody that you're doing yoga asana, they will ask you, can you touch your toes? So you'll find that even when you go down and touch our toes, we want to round the back and go down and touch our toes. We're going to learn to go down with a straight back. At the same time, increase our range. So let's breathe in, raise up the arms, a full stretch. The key here is to keep the upper arm behind the ear. Stretch the armpit, spread the palms, spread the fingers. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Rest your wrist on the chair and now work to release the ear below the shoulder and lengthen the side body so you have a flat back. Adjust your legs if you have to. The legs have to be perpendicular to the floor. And now lengthen the navel away from the hip, adjust your hands if you need to, and lengthen the sternum away from the navel. Draw the shoulder blades down towards the floor and stretch the arm out. It's the same work we were doing previously, just in the direction have changed. Focus on the breath. Now soften the spine. Bring a softness to the pose and focus on the breath. Place your hands on your hips. Breathe in and come out. For those of you that are slightly advanced and have the flexibility, you can choose to use blocks of the same concept. Place 2 blocks in front of you. If you're not using blocks, continue with the chair. Breathe in, raise up your arms. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips and place your fingertips to the block and create the same action of a straight back. Look forward and now lengthen the navel away from the hip, lengthen the sternum away from the navel and release the chin down. And now breathe in, raise up the head, feel the flexibility especially in the cervical spine without losing the straightness of your back. Look forward and release. So you can choose to continue and repeat this action on the chair or the block. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in, raise up your arms, a full stretch of the front body, and as you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Rest your wrist on the chair and work to straighten the spine. So it's actually an L-shaped profile. So press your feet down, roll your thighs in to widen the sacral area. You'll find that it gives more release to the spine for it to extend. So the work is to roll the thighs in, creating space for the spine to extend. And you can walk your hand now forward along the chair to give you more of a stretch. So from the wrist, move your mid forearm onto the chair, if you can, and look forward and release down. Look forward and release down. One more time. Breathe in, raise up the head. Breathe out at the knees. Hold on to the chair and come on. Keep the chair on standby if you need. Breathe in, raise up your arms. For those of you that want to continue using the chair, it's perfectly fine. For the rest of us, stand facing forward. Breathe in, raise up the arms. And as you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Gently fold forward and find your range. See where your fingers stop. See where your fingers stop. Whether it's the toe, the ankle or the knee. Find that action. Place your hands on your hips. Breathe in and out. Now another technique to keep the back straight is coming to Paschima Baddhasana. Bind your hands behind you. Lengthen from the navel to the sternum and look up. A full extension of the front body. A full breath in. And as you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold forward. We're not going down, we're folding forward, so look forward. Imagine that your chair is there, the same action. Those of you that want to use the chair, place a wrist on your chair. The work here is to push your forearm into the lower back and extend the sternum away from the navel and look forward. Then release the head down. Look forward, lengthen the spine, feel the softness of the action. Breathe in and come up. Release your hands and change the bind of your hand. So you've marked your spot where your fingers reached, and let's see if we can increase our range every day. The idea here is not to touch your toes and to prove to touch your toes, but to have the openness and lengthening of the hamstrings, the stretch of the spine giving us more flexibility. Breathe in, look up. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. So we're not going down, we're going forward. So imagine somebody's pulling your shoulders away in front of you. Move the buttock back, lengthen from the navel to the sternum and look forward. Release the head down. And breathe in, raise up the head, and at the same time, pushing the forearm into the lower back. Breathe in. The important part of this action lies in the buttock and the pelvic tilt. You'll find that when you go down, you need to roll the buttock flesh over the hip, and there's a tilt in the pelvis. The pelvis has more or less a mechanical action to draw the thighs up. At the same time, the groin goes into the body. So let's practice the next action. You can use a chair or do it freestanding. Hold on to your buttock flesh. Breathe in, look up. Extend from the navel to the sternum. Look up. And as you breathe out, draw the buttock flesh over the hip. Look forward, and you'll find that you're lengthening the hamstrings and the thigh muscles at the same time. Breathe in and come up. One more time. Take a full breath in, and as you breathe out, hinge at the hips. Hold forward, look forward. Remember, we're not going down, we're going forward. Keep looking forward. Buttock flesh over the hip, lengthen the spine. Breathe in, come up, and release your hands. So it's the same action with the groin. Turn your palms to face up, the fingers facing in. And at this crease line where you fold, hinge at the hips, fold forward. This groin area, can you push it into the body? You'll find that the buttock rolls over and look forward. If you're using the chair, it's the same action. Feel this groin area going into the body and up as you extend over the chair. So the action here is to get the buttock flesh over the hip and the groin up. Breathe in, up, and turn to face forward. So these actions are quite intense and strong, but you'll find that as you practice during the week, you'll become very, very soft in the pose. Breathe in, raise up the arms, a full extension of the armpit, lengthen from the navel to the sternum, and stretch up the armpit, upper arm behind the ear. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Forward, not down. If you want to use your hands, take the buttock flesh over the hip. Use your hands, tuck the groins in, soften the abdomen. Now looking forward, take your hands behind your thighs, behind your shins, or if you can hold onto your ankles, it's perfectly fine. Let's start with behind our thighs, bend the elbows and take the sternum down. As much as you can, sternum to the knees, sternum to the thighs, without releasing the head. Maintain the length of the front body. Breathe in. One more time, raise up the arms, a full stretch. Hinge at the hips, fold forward, not down. You're still at 90 degrees. Take your hands behind your thighs, bend the elbows to draw the sternum down. Push the back of the shins and draw the sternum down. So sternum going down, keep the head up. Then release the head, raise up the head, breathe out, release the head, raise up the head, just to get some flexibility in the spine. Place your hands on your hips. So you would find that many a times when you need to extend forward, the tightness is in the mid-back and the lower back. Breathe in, raise up the arms. Bend the knees and wrap your fingers around the toes. This is known as Padangusthasana. With the big toe, press your fingers down. Work to straighten the legs and to look forward. Look forward. If you cannot, then you use the blocks and you use the chair. So don't be afraid to use your blocks or your chair. If you can, you wrap your two fingers around the big toe, press the toe down onto the fingers and look forward. Roll the thighs in, lift the buttock flesh over the hip and keep looking forward. Feel the lengthening of the spine, especially the front body. Place your hands on your hips. So this helps to actually stretch the back and stretch the spine. Once again, bend your knees. Place your palms under your foot. Press the wrist down. If you're using the chair, continue using the chair. Press the wrist down and walk to straighten the legs. Just walk to straighten the legs and you'll find that the spine stretches. This is known as Padahastasana. Forward, place your hands on your hips. Breathe in. So this helps to lengthen the spine, especially the lower. Let's try one more time a gentle stretch using these techniques that we learned. You that need to use the blocks and use the chair and stay in the half Uttanasana, Ardha Uttanasana is perfectly fine, but focus on the lengthening of the side body and the front body. Now breathe in, raise up the arms, stretch the armpit, lift the wrist. Roll the thighs in. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Fold forward. Draw the buttock flesh over the hip. Roll your thighs in. Lift the groin. Soften the abdomen. Take the navel down and take the sternum down. Each time you breathe out, draw the navel down and draw the sternum down. Lengthen away from the navel to the sternum, creating the length. And shift the weight of the body more to the toe side. And lastly, release the head and neck, stretching the back. Place your hands on the hips. Breathe in and come up. You'll find that eventually your range increases. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in, raise up your arms. As you breathe out, soften the abdomen, reach forward, keep the length of the front body. Roll your thighs in, buttock flesh over the hip, move the groins up, shift the weight of the body onto the toe side and draw the navel and the sternum closer to the thigh. If you want to hold the back of your ankles, it's fine. Widen the elbows away from each other. It will take your sternum and navel closer to your legs. Shift the weight of the body onto the toe side and release your hands. You'll find that your range has increased. Soften the breath, release the head and become quiet. Once done properly, Uttanasana becomes a very, very calming pose. Put your hands on your hips. Breathe in to come up. Those of you that are using the chair, just as recovery, turn your chair around. Turn your chair around. Take the support, either the blue or a foam support, and just rest the head. Those of you that have no support, raise up your arms, box at the elbows, hinge at the hips, and just release your elbows down to the floor. Legs slightly wider and feel the elbows releasing to the floor. Hands on your hips. Breathe in to come up. Remove your props out of the way. Once again, come to sit. Big toes touching, take your knees apart and walk your hands forward. Look up. A full extension of the front body from the navel to the sternum and stretch out and release into child. Come onto your knees. A gentle stretch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Knees. Come to lie on the back. Knee up, feet flat on the floor. With both hands, draw both your knees slightly wider. Soften into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Reach your feet to the mat. Straighten your right leg. Straighten your left leg. Roll your thighs away from each other. And soften the abdomen. Have any pinch on your lower back, keep your knees up and your feet flat on the floor. Front body and the side body. Your hands on the abdomen. Raise up your knees, keeping your feet. Raise up your right arm all the way past the right ear. Roll over onto your right hand side. Press with the left hand. Come to third. Sit comfortably, lengthen the front body, especially from the navel to the sternum. Breathe of the armpits. Close your eyes and join your palms. Sides of the body, the back body, the front body. At the same time, the quietness of the mind and the quietness of the brain. So deep breath in. Out, release your chin to the chest. As you breathe in, raise up your head. Find that if you practice these gentle techniques, your range will increase, especially the flexibility of your spine as well. Have a wonderful day forward. Thank you for joining this session, and we'll see you tomorrow.